तिरंगा ऊंचा लहराया, मैंने उस लम्हे को और खास बनाया। देश की बेटियों ने जब हौसला दिखाया, इस लाल रंग ने उस पल को हर चेहरे पर सजाया। 100 सालों से ज्यादा का सफर रूह अफ़ज़ा के हर घूंट में समाया है, तभी तो पूरे इंडिया ने इसे दिल में बसाया है। रूह अफ़ज़ा, ड्रिंक ऑफ इंडिया।
Someone to bring your vision into reality. When human vision meets artificial intelligence, storytelling enters new territory. Two distinct categories: brand films, short films, evaluated by the best of the best, seen by those who shape the industry, rewarded with a 10 lakh rupee prize pool, celebrated at What India Thinks Today, Delhi. AI Squared Awards, where artificial intelligence meets artistic imagination.
Our second segment on IYI. This is sport or sovereignty. This is the Pakistan player debate. Should Indian entities, even abroad, hire Pakistani cricketers given the geopolitical tensions between these two nations? Now, next up, let's turn our focus and attention to a story that has ignited a firestorm across the cricketing world, moving far beyond the boundaries of the pitch and into the heart of national sentiment. For nearly 2 decades, an unwritten rule has governed Indian cricket. Indian-owned teams do not sign Pakistani players. This informal ban, rooted in the deep-seated tensions between the two nations, has remained unbroken since the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks. But that streak came to a controversial end last week in London. During the auction for the 100 2026, Sunrisers Leeds, a franchise owned by India's Sun Group and have an IPL team, Sunrisers Hyderabad, secured Pakistani spinner Abrar Ahmed for £190,000. The move has triggered a massive backlash and has now been backed by cricketing legend Sunil Gavaskar himself. The reaction was almost instantaneous. On social media, the hashtag to boycott the Sunrisers began trending, leading to the temporary suspension of the team's official account. Critics are pointing not just to the player's nationality but to his past social media posts where he reportedly mocked Indian armed forces. For many fans, this isn't just about a game. It's about the optics of an Indian entity paying a salary that eventually contributes to the Pakistani exchequer via tax. Sunrisers Leeds has defended the pick. Daniel Vittori, the franchise, says it is putting teams' needs first and keeping politics aside. So far, there has been no official comment from the team owner Kavya Maran, and the England and Wales Cricketing Board has rejected any idea of shadow ban and says players cannot be kept out just because of their nationality. The outrage was amplified after legendary cricketer Sunil Gavaskar spoke out sharply against the decision. He said the furor is hardly surprising because the money paid to Pakistani player eventually goes as income tax to his government, which then buys arms and weapons. He added that this indirectly contributes to the deaths of Indian soldiers and civilians. And Sunil Gavaskar made it clear that when the owner is Indian, that person is contributing to Indian casualties. It is as simple as that, quote unquote, Sunil Gavaskar. This row has brought back focus on a long-standing practice. Since the 26/11 attacks in 2008, no Pakistani players have taken part in the IPL. Indian-owned franchises have quietly followed an unwritten rule to stay away from Pakistani talent because of security concerns and strong public feeling. The 100, this tournament, however, is run by the England and Wales Cricket Board and is not under BCCI control. That is why such a signing was possible, and the BCCI has said that the matter is outside its jurisdiction. The big questions that we're trying to understand: can an Indian-owned business ever truly separate its commercial interests in a foreign league from the national sentiment of its home country? Is Sunil Gavaskar's argument that sports and the salaries indirectly fund cross-border hostility. Is that a fair assessment? With us on the broadcast, Mahavir Rawat, senior sports journalist, and Mr. Dilip Cherian, communication expert and founder, Perfect Relations and Image Group. Many thanks for taking on the time, gentlemen. Mr. Rawat, cricket has often been described as a bridge between India and Pakistan, but in the current geopolitical scenario, post-Operation Sindoor, post the Pahalgam carnage, and of course, how can we forget the 2008 dastardly Mumbai attack? Is that bridge still viable? Tensions with Pakistan remain high. Indian institutions and Indian entities, even the ones abroad and even the private ones, should they reflect the national sentiment? What's your take on that? Sunil Gavaskar says it's quote-unquote hardly surprising.
Look, there are 2-3 points I would like to make, and I would like to make that very quickly. I don't know what Daniel Vittori saw in Abrar, but looking at Pakistan's performance, I don't think any of their players deserve any place in any of the 100 or any of the team. I'm just solely talking about the performance. But that's on a lighter note. On a serious note, look, you and me use so many Chinese products in our day-to-day life because that's the way how they are being sold. We use Chinese phone, we use Chinese refrigerator, we use so many things. So are we helping China to disrupt India in some way or the other? Now, you and me are using iPhones, you and me are using iPads and all those American products. So are we helping America to attack on Iran or something like that? I mean, I know Gavaskar has been chest thumping this for quite some time because he wants to be relevant in BCCI's eyes. That's a whole together a different debate, which I will not go. So because to be in a part of a BCCI commentary team, you need to be seen more and more jingoistic and more nationalism. But I didn't expect this from Gavaskar. Look, we don't like Pakistani players. Okay. We don't want them in any of our IPL. Okay. IPL is our league. We don't want them. We make it very sure that we will not allow you to play. Now, and also, before I forget, on 2nd of February on your channel, I told that on 15th of February, India is definitely going to play Pakistan in Sri Lanka. This happened. Even today, you can write it down that India, Sunrisers Leeds is going to chuck out Abrar Ahmed. There is no doubt about it in my mind that they're not going to keep him in the team. But whoever is the PR agency or doing any other handling this public relation of Sunrisers Leeds, and if they have given this idea, it is a very bad idea. So all in all, it is a thing which could have been avoided by Sunrisers Leeds and by Sunil Gavaskar. We could have made it very clear that anything to do with India, if it is there, we will not allow Pakistan, whether it's Pakistan bat, Pakistan ball, Pakistan pitch, Pakistan close, we will not do anything.
Well, some pertinent points that you've made there, Mr. Rawat. Mr. Cherian, do you concur, do you echo along the lines of what Mr. Rawat here is saying? Gavaskar, he had added in that, article that whether the payment comes from an Indian company or an overseas subsidiary, the responsibility still lies with the owner. So, when an Indian-owned franchise signs a Pakistani player, is it simply a business decision, or does it carry symbolic political meaning, or should we now separate the two because this is being handled by the England and the Wales cricketing body? Did you go through that article yourself? What's your opinion?
I think what Mahavir said is right. There is no doubt that this, kind of anger and irritability is a sign that Mr. Gavaskar is looking for greater relevance, which at his level of seniority, we don't need. Bad PR, this certainly was. It isn't going to give the owners anything except grief to have made this move. Now, if they're trying to show that they are professional and leaving these decisions to a coach, as many teams would like to project, they need to recognize that that's not how decisions vis-a-vis Pakistan get played out on the Indian pitch. And number 3, I think we are also sadly obsessed with this Pakistan thing when we should be worrying about, as we've discussed before on several other programs, the China factor. If we don't have the gumption to stand up and say that the real enemy, the enemy who supplies the jets, the enemy who supplies all the ammunition, is actually China, and we need to be very strong on dealing with them, then we are actually doing ourselves a global disservice in terms of the image of Indian cricket. It's unlikely that this will sound logical. We are beating on the smallest bully in the playing field. As we also know, it's not a great
Mr. Cherian,
team. And
let's not do them dirty. Daniel Vittori thinks Abrar has the right kind of variations, and that's why he costs 190,000 pounds. But just to quote, what Sunil Gavaskar said, he said, if the owner is Indian, then he or she is contributing to the Indian casualties. It's as simple as that. Now, do you think public outrage reflects genuine national sentiment, or is this social media driven and fed hyper nationalism that we're all consuming today?
all of us know that much of this is actually fed by bots. And in the age of AI, you don't need to take the numbers very seriously. You do need to take, however, Gavaskar's voice seriously, and the fact that he has chosen to come out, and that Mr. Shukla has chosen to come out and say that, look, this is something that owners as well as those franchise managers need to work out. And I'm sure that the prediction is right, that they will, after this brouhaha, will pull out of this buying, and matters will go back to regular. But if we play Pakistan, that is a greater contributor to the Pakistani exchequer than anything else. So let's be clear on that, and let's be watchful about that.
Mr. Rawat, you've been a soothsayer when it comes to cricket and cricketing predictions. You said India will play Pakistan. They sure did. You're saying they're going to chuck out Abrar. Well, we'll have to wait and find out on that. I'm betting on what you've said. But Pakistani players, they really haven't been part of the Indian Premier League ever since 2008. And this is an unsaid rule of sorts. So do you think that's going to change? Should India-owned franchises maintain that same policy in overseas leagues? Do you see that changing in the due course of time? What's your opinion on that?
Look, I perfectly understand that IPL is a private league, and forget all the leagues that are happening in there is a principal amount and then there is interest. So IPL is the principal amount. Whatever is happening in South Africa, whatever is happening in Caribbean League, whatever is happening in England, these are all in interest. I mean, we can survive very well without them, but they can't survive anywhere other with us. So not having Pakistan, I totally understand. As Rajiv Shukla said, that look, it's not BCCI's prerogative, but I think Daniel Vittori and the Sunrisers Leeds, there has been a miscommunication from Hyderabad to Leeds, is that they forgot to tell them that don't touch them. They gave them all the liberty, whoever they wanted to pick. And again, I'm saying that whether it's good or bad is a different is a question altogether. But if India has taken a stand, it's our league, right? So we don't want to play them. So we can take that decision. And as such, Pakistan's cricket over the past 10, 15 years is over. It's all in the, all in our minds. It's a rivalry that is in our minds. It's not the rivalry that is on the field. We want them to compete now, but they are not compete against. And I very well agree that how can your nationalism be at its peak when a Pakistani player is playing? How can your nationalism be on the peak on some other issue? But when while playing Pakistan, you want to play the team, but you don't want to shake their hands with them. I mean, I don't understand this topic, and I totally agree that by playing them, you are giving them more money. So don't play them. Don't see them anywhere on their face. So if there is a Pakistani player coming, team coming, anyone coming, just take a left turn or right turn, but just don't play them anywhere. So this pick and choose, there has been
easier said than done, Mr. Rawat. 4,500 crore rupees on the line in terms of advertisements. What's going to happen on that? The advertisement rights that they sell off about 3-4 months before the actual game is even supposed to play. And then it's a bonanza for all these advertising companies if the Pakistan team plays India more than once.
No, I would like to add this. The pressure of India-Pakistan match and the pressure of Pakistan not playing us was so much that an ICC team had to go to Islamabad, and they not only had to convince them, but they also had to let go all the sanctions that they had threatened to put on Bangladesh team, that if you don't play in the World Cup, we will do anything. So such is the pressure of an India-Pakistan match. So what all I am is saying is that, I mean, this is, look, politicians, it sounds very good because we have to fight elections in India, they have to fight elections in Pakistan, and everyone has to fight elections in Bangladesh. But it hurts when Sunil Gavaskar says it, because Imran Khan has been the biggest fan of Sunil Gavaskar. I have heard stories from the mouth of Imran Khan when he was one of our panelists and I was a part of a news channel.
yeah.
He used to say that when there was an incident when Ramiz Raza was trying to make fun of Sunil Gavaskar, so he went there, he cut off his ear and told, instead of mocking this little master, just watch the way he concentrates. The way he watches the ball. Imran Khan, Javed Mirdad, Abdul Qadir, they all were fans of Little Master.
Credible
And
points,
today,
credible points.
Something listening from Gavaskar, it does not look great from such a huge player.
So no room for duplicity. Either play them or don't play them at all.
Don't
Final
play.
20 seconds, Mr. Cherian. Does Sunil Gavaskar have a point when he says that, you pay them money, then that money via tax goes to the Pakistani exchequer, that money lands up into the arms of the arms smugglers and the arm dealers, and then it gives way to some other sort of infiltration bid across the borders? Does that have any sense? Is there any logical bias on that particular point?
To use a cricketing analogy, I would say that's a long shot. I don't think that that's the way it works. In fact, the direct issue is something, and please understand that the ICC is now only a veiled version of the BCCI. So, it doesn't matter how it plays out. It needs to be very clear that if we don't want to, and we want to be seen as someone who's actually cutting off the Pakistani air supply, as it were, then we should play these matches without ever conceding that we will play against Pakistan.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Mr. Rawat and Mr. Cherian, many thanks for helping us with your insights in this light-hearted conversation. Should India-owned teams sign Pakistani players? Can sport truly stay away and separate from geopolitics? Well, we don't have an answer at the moment. Cricket is something where we wear it on our sleeves when it comes to our nation. But where should nationalism draw the line in cricket? That's the big question. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of IYI in Your Interest. We're going to see you again tomorrow. Many thanks for watching.
हमें स्वस्थ रखने वाली सारी चीजें ज्यादातर शुद्ध होनी चाहिए। सूर्य की किरणें और स्वच्छ पानी, वैसा ही है लाइन अरेबियन डेट्स। और अब लाइन लाइना डेट्स, इसमें फाइबर्स और विटामिन्स भी कुदरती हैं, जो देता है स्वास्थ्य भी कुदरती।
Lion Lina Premium Dates. Someone to bring your vision into reality. When human vision meets artificial intelligence, storytelling enters new territory. Two distinct categories: brand films, short films, evaluated by the best of the best, seen by those who shaped the industry, rewarded with a 10 lakh rupee prize pool, celebrated at What India Thinks Today, Delhi. AI Squared Awards, where artificial intelligence meets artistic imagination.
This season, we're going to explore the unknown sides and destinations of Spain.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Bringing you up to speed with some political developments taking place here back at home. We are looking ahead to assembly elections in 5 states. The Bharatiya Janata Party focusing on the West Bengal assembly elections. The BJP has now released its first list of 144 candidates for the upcoming assembly elections in West Bengal, setting the stage for a high-stakes political battle in the state of West Bengal. In a key move, senior BJP leader Suvendu Adhikari has been fielded from 2 constituencies, that is the Nandigram and the Bhabanipur. And mind you, this is where Suvendu Adhikari versus Mamata Banerjee 2.0 is going to take place. Bhawanipur is currently being represented by Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, raising the possibility of a direct contest between the two leaders once again. With us on the broadcast is my colleague Ravi Shankar Datta, joining us live from Bhawanipur. Ravi Shankar, what's the latest? 144 names that are out and all eyes on this key battle now. Mamata Banerjee versus Suvendu Adhikari. So talk to us about this battle and tell us about some other key contests that are shaping up vis-a-vis that list of 144 candidates that the BJP has released.
See, from yesterday it was very evident that in Bhawanipur, Suvendu Adhikari will be contesting, because before the election was declared, Suvendu Adhikari many a times said that okay, from Bhawanipur I will contest and I will contest against Mamata Banerjee to give her a tough fight. Now, I myself live in Bhawanipur and I live in the ward where Mamata Banerjee is staying. Some few houses later she stays where I am staying, and I know that it's a den of Trinamool Congress. Now Mamata Banerjee, if you see, according to 2024 Lok Sabha election, in Ward 73, Ward 75, Trinamool Congress was behind BJP by around 500 to 800 votes. Now that is what BJP is counting. Now Suvendu Adhikari being a strong candidate who initially won the Nandigram election in 2021. He is contesting from two seats, one in Bhawanipur and one in Nandigram. But where in Nandigram, who will be Trinamool Congress candidate, that is also a question. But in Bhawanipur, now it has become high voltage, because initially it was thought that Mamata Banerjee, when stands in Bhawanipur, she has already won the seat. But now this time, when Mamata Banerjee is there a candidate and Suvendu Adhikari is also a candidate there, it can be said that Nandigram will be, Bhawanipur and Nandigram will be the epicenter of elections this time in West Bengal. And if you see, Trinamool Congress has already claimed that if Prime Minister Modi has been the candidate of Bhawanipur, Trinamool Congress had been a little in difficulty, or some worry would have been there, because he is a heavyweight candidate. But today Brakta Basu, who is the education minister of the state, said that other than Narendra Modi, PM Narendra Modi, anybody might be the candidate in Bhawanipur. Trinamool Congress will be winning there by 50,000 votes, as said in TV9 camera by Education Minister Brakta Basu. If we look to the other places, some very prominent face of BJP, they has been removed from their places, like Ashok Lahiri. He has not got, who was previously the economic advisor to PM during Manmohan Singh's regime. He has been removed from his place. Hiran, who was also the MLA, standing MLA, he has been removed from Kharagpur Sadar, and Dilip Ghosh has been given back the seat outright there. And the other faces, if you look, Agnimitra Paul, she has got her seat there in Asansol, because she has been the MLA there and she has been continuously visiting her constituency. Chandana Baudi, who was initially ST/SC woman and later become a candidate and won the seat, she is also being given her seat to contest there. Dut Kumar Mondol, who has been the president of BJP in Birbhum, he has also been given the candidature from his own seat. So there are seats, there are faces who has been given the priority in BJP. And there are faces who were the standing MLA, but still they haven't received any candidature till now. Maybe they will be given the seats from some other places, or maybe this time it happens so that they will not get the candidature.
Still early doors, because only 144 names that have come out of 294 seats that are going to be up for grabs. But needless to say, you've given us a lowdown of how high voltage the Bhawanipur is going to be, and Nandigram as well. And it's not just about Suvendu Adhikari versus Mamata Banerjee, several top other names that are going to be in the power. So will the old guard retain power, or is this going to be winds of change? We're going to keep coming back to you. My colleague Ravi Shankar Datta bringing us the latest. Many thanks for taking out the time. Now, the Election Commission has announced that the polling in West Bengal will be held in two phases on the 23rd and the 29th of April, with the counting of votes scheduled for the 4th of May. Howrah Express, right here on News 9. We're going to bring you all the latest details vis-a-vis in the run-up to the West Bengal Assembly elections. With that, it's time for me to slip into a quick commercial breather here. Top news and developments right on the other side. Keep it with News 9.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
What you saw me on the field and off the field is like chalk and cheese. Is leadership acquired or leaders are born?
No guts, no glory, no pain, no gain. My tendency is to go for magic, not for perfection.
I never give up. I like to win. If you believe you can, you can.
Just me being here, it's a statement.
You define a concept called against all odds. You seem to be a destiny's child. When chips are down, the whole team could have looked up to you, said, Dada is still there. Every time, whether I scored 100 or a Sachin scored 100 or a Rahul scored 100 or a Sehwag scored 100, the scoreboard said India won.
There is a quality about me, which is why perhaps people feel I'm a perfectionist, because I don't get tired easily.
Let the kids know and the families know that one of the best ways to get a good education, go to a good school and a good college anywhere in the world, is if you play a sport well.
How would it be possible for a person, ordinary person, for me to know?
Acting कर रहा है या ये सच कर रहा है?
ये जो बात
I'm not a very good actor in real life. Real life मेरे चेहरे पे दिख जाता है झूठ बोल रही है.
In Germany, the biggest newspaper was written on the first page. This is a finishing from Lothar Matthäus' career, and this was motivate me.
I was literally on my phone at home, and they're like, "Oh, we have the results. We suggest that you remove your breast." And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
When I started stumbling and I started making the mistakes, that I realized that now that person who I have not forgiven 2 years back, now I know what he feels like.
Very important understanding of life, that you will only get opportunities if you're good. And if you're not good, don't expect opportunities.
The best example I could ever give is Abraham Lincoln, losing every election he ever had till he won the presidency.
You know, I actually have the feeling that my life hasn't started yet.
We all have 2 lives. The second one begins the day we realize that we only have 1 life.
Wow.
The LPG shortage is now being felt across several cities in India. Our reporters travel across the country to bring you the ground reality.
It's impacting your and my kitchen.
Gas crisis hits kitchen fires. Restaurants and small businesses shutting down.
Very difficult because everything runs on LPG.
LPG cylinders are running short.
Supply shortage, hoarding or panic buying.
कहाँ भी कोई भी 3000 दे तुरंत सिलेंडर मिलेगा.
What's the government doing to control the crisis?
So the question is whether India is prepared.
News 9 ground reports.
Growing uncertainty over the availability of LPG in the national capital.
We are here at the ground. News 9 will be tracking the problems of the people.
But the people that we speak to on ground have a different story to tell.
Will be continuous coverage.
Continuous coverage on News 9. In your interest. This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
Thanks very much for tuning in to Unmissable. I'm Nabila Jamal. Let me take you through all the news this hour. Let's start with our top story on Deep Dive today. LPG crisis that continues to devastate the restaurant business in India. We're looking at large-scale losses to the restaurant industry. Bengaluru alone has seen nearly 100 crores wiped out in the last 5 days. We're going to take you through the big impact of LPG crisis that we're seeing on day 5. Also on our top story tonight is while the West Asia war continues, on day 17, we're seeing something different happening. All of the United States allies have backed out of this war. They refuse to support the United States or send naval ships to support those coming out of the Strait of Hormuz. Those ships filled with fuel, LPG, whatnot, that needs to be passing the Strait of Hormuz. If they need to be protected, then many countries and allies need to send their naval ships to ensure its safe passage, but they're refusing to do it. So this would only mean larger energy crisis, and also it means none backing the United States. And finally, our top story on day tonight is the Odisha fire tragedy in a hospital, 10 killed. many critical. As always, I start with the headlines. LPG carrier Shivalik has finally reached India after navigating Hormuz. Big win for Indian diplomacy as Strait of Hormuz remains choked, but Indian ships, at least 2 of them, managed to pass. Indian Foreign Minister Jai Shankar has said that he is hopeful about talks with Iran and easing of shipping disruptions for India. In his interview to Financial Times, he's also said that there was no blanket arrangement for all Indian ships to pass through the narrow waterway. Former Prime Minister H.D. Deve Gowda has written to senior Congress leader Sonia Gandhi expressing deep concerns over what he describes as rising disorder and disruptions in the parliament. Kerala government recorded an official reception to honour cricketer Sanju Samson, the architect of India's victory in the ICC Men's T20 World Cup and the player of the tournament in the state capital. Weather to change across North India on Tuesday again as cloud cover increases across several states, bringing the possibility of snowfall in the Himalayan region just ahead of peak summer. Oil prices surge above $100 per barrel as Strait of Hormuz standoff deepens. Drone attacks and missile strikes have been reported across Gulf countries, Israel, Lebanon and Iran. Right, let me take you through our top story tonight on the LPG crisis. At least 25 eateries in Bengaluru have shut down due to shortage of LPG gas. The LPG crisis, triggered by the disruptions around the Strait of Hormuz, is now spilling into India's real economy. Even as the Indian LPG carrier Shivalik prepares to dock at the Mundra port today, another tanker, Nanda Devi, heads toward Kandla. The damage is already visible across the country. Karnataka's hotel industry has lost more than 100 crores in just 5 days due to a shortage of commercial LPG. More than 100 crores has been wiped out of Karnataka's restaurant industry in just the last 5 days. That's the scale of LPG crisis that's now hitting Bengaluru's food economy. At least 25 eateries in the city have already shut down after commercial LPG cylinders became scarce. Now, many others are barely managing. They're cutting menus, switching to electric stoves or turning to old-style wood-fired cooking to stay afloat. In fact, LPG crisis was triggered by disruptions, as we know, around the Strait of Hormuz. Because of the West Asia war, Iran is choking the Strait of Hormuz. Ships are not passing. At least India has managed 2 of them. India's LPG carrier, Shivalik, prepares to dock at Mundra Airport. In fact, it's all set to dock at the Mundra port. And another tanker, Nanda Devi, heads towards Kandla. The damage, of course, is visible on the ground, though. Karnataka's hotel industry says it has already lost over 100 crores in 5 days because commercial cylinders simply aren't available. Out of nearly 40,000 hotels across the state, many are cutting menus, are limiting operations or temporarily shutting down kitchens. From the famous Darshini outlets in South Bengaluru to the busy iftar stalls in Shivaji Nagar, kitchens are now going quiet. Bangalore Hotel Association President P.C. Rao says most high-volume restaurants need at least 15 to 20 cylinders a day to operate normally. Right now, many simply can't get them, and several businesses are now on the brink of closure. Some cafes are even passing the crisis directly to customers. A Bengaluru cafe has added a gas crisis charge to its bill. If we could show that on our screens there. Imagine Bengaluru cafe there adding gas crisis charge. That's literally what's written there, 5% that's been charged. 2 mint lemonades priced at $179 each. A total of $358 is a bill, but the cafe added a 5% gas crisis fee, about 17 rupees, pushing the bill to $374 with taxes. It's a small line on a receipt, but it reflects a much bigger crisis that's now brewing across the food industry. Across the city, restaurants have already raised food prices by at least 5 to 20 rupees per item. Just to keep kitchens running, commercial LPG cylinders are now being sold in black market for 3,000 to 5,000 each, far above the regular price. Operating costs have shot up overnight. Some restaurants have slashed their menus from 20 items, which were, to just 2 or 3 dishes on the menu. Now, others have laid off workers to cut costs as well. Those who switched to induction stoves are now facing a different set of problems.